Okay, this will be just an introductory discussion of a very rare, weird variation of the modern defense. This is called the North Sea variation of the modern defense. You won't find very many games played this way, but there is a book out by Jim Bickford, which is kind of hard to find. The book just came out though. It's by a small publishing house. Perhaps you can find it on eBay. I think that's where I got my copy. The book is just called The North Sea Variation of the Modern Defense. And it goes something like this. If white plays towards the middle, black starts out with the modern defense, but instead of playing bishop g7 here, black plays knight f6. If white then plays e5, black has two options besides the option of knight g8. What we won't explore is knight d5, which ends up giving you a game sort of like, or very much like, Alekhine's defense. So perhaps something like that, where the knight eventually returns to the 6th rank. But instead, the North Sea variation is to play this weird move of knight h5. So it's not seen very often, although you can use this position here to search for it in databases and you'll find a handful of games. The book by Jim Bickford has about 100 games in it. I think a lot of them probably come from correspondence chess. But it is a fun opening at non-high levels, although some high-level players do play it occasionally. Again, rarely. I think it is fun on the internet to play this in blitz games because it really throws off white. So often white will not know what to do, but white will think, well, let's go after that knight. So black plays d6. So bishop e2 is the line we'll follow today. And we'll just do a couple of branches within this line. So white takes, black retakes, white takes with the queen, black takes, and now white has a choice of recapturing with the pawn or the queen. We'll go through the recapture with the queen first. So queen takes. Now black must save his rook and move his rook to gh. The rook is now threatening the pawn on g2, obviously. White has a couple options here. Now if white, this is a blunder on white's part, if white decides to play check, black just interposes. That's the best white can do now, is queen to d3, and then black can either immediately take on g2, but a better move is actually to wait a little bit and just start developing and go with knight to a6. And here white is actually in a bad place, and black is ahead, according to the computer analysis at least. But let's back up. So rook g8, white has to decide what to do. Generally, white will try and defend the g2 pawn by playing queen to e4. So let me find that variation here. Queen e4. Black can play rook g4, keeping the attack on the queen, or starting the attack on the queen. White interposes, f5. Attack again, and then trade queens. And even though white is down 2 pawns here, white is ahead 2 pawns here, black can recapture one on g2 and then take eventually the other one in the middle. And white is down here, and black is ahead, according to computer analysis at least. So again, pretty wild opening. Let's just run through it again real quickly, and then I'll do another variation. So e5, knight to h5 is the North Sea variation. Bishop e2, some trading, and then rook g8. Queen b5 check is the blunder we saw earlier. More common is queen e4, rook g4, sort of harass the queen, force the trade, and black is doing fine. Now another option here is for white to take the pawn on h7, but black still does fine here. Ganging up on the g-pawn. And again, black is down a pawn, but doing fine, and in fact ahead. So what if instead white takes with the pawn? So black takes the pawn, white takes the pawn. Normally black now plays d5, and perhaps the game might go like this. And white's doing fine and is probably ahead. So that's it for now. I'll try and find a few games to add to this, as well as what the other options are for white instead of bishop e2 in the fourth move. For instance, white often might play knight f3 or c3 here, or bishop e2, and then go ahead with development and castling instead of taking. But that's it for now. Give it a try. It's weird, fun.